a moment. Toss all your worries in the air, cause you'll forget them when you're there. Let's go out back tonight.
Let go of the day. Go out back tonight. But the steak is thick and juicy. The shrimp is grilled and sweet. The chicken, tender. Your only worry is which to choose.
Let's go out back tonight.
Tonight,
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Disc Coverers, the only podcast online that reads, reviews, and ranks all 41 of Terry Pratchett's celebrated Discworld series of comic fantasy novels. I, as ever, am your host, Iris J. Pronouns are she or there if you're feeling spicy. And I have a special treat. I have not one, but two, count them, two of my co-hosts here in the studio live with me. Hi, June and Grace. Great to see your beautiful smiling faces.
Likewise, Iris. It's a pleasure to be here in scenic, your house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
absolutely wonderful. Well, so I've been here before, and then
June was
now
here.
it's both of us here. So next time it's going to be all four of us.
Yeah, we got to get
And then-
Belina
Yeah, we'll
down.
figure
And
something
then if we do
out.
it again after that, I assume we'll just have suddenly, mysteriously added a fifth member to the podcast.
That's when Kel busts out of their apartment, Kool-Aid Man style, and sprints over here to talk about werewolves for the last elephant episode, or the fifth elephant episode.
Very wise.
God, that would
Hi,
actually,
Cal, I know you're
actually rule, though.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Also,
Happy
hi, I'm
birthday,
Belina.
Cal, by
I'm
the
here
way.
too.
Yes, joining us over the magic of technology is our co-host Belina.
Always happy to be here. Pronouns she/they. I don't know why I'm trying to fill in any more dead time here, but you know, I'm the same person I've always been.
We don't want to talk about the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's-
that's entirely fair.
Fucking
This-
Rincewind's back, baby. This episode, we're going down under to the mystical and magical continent of 4X, a continent legally distinct from any existing continents on Earth currently. In Terry Pratchett's book, The Last Continent.
Well, it's short for whatever. What are the 4X strategy games? It's like
XCOM,
Yeah,
XCOM 2.
No, it's short for
like Stellaris or Master
It's just like
Four.
expand, extract, embrace, extinguish, or some shit.
What? I don't remember.
Thank you for
You're
coming to
fucked
my
up.
poorly.
X-Man and X-Conquer.
Thank you for coming to Princess Grace's poorly thought out joke. My pronouns are she, her, they.
No.
Say fair if you're spicy. I'll have more of these as we go along.
To be fair, I did originally have a joke about that in the synopsis that I struck out for not being able to make it land. So,
Before we get to
like,
the
you know, we're on the
synopsis.
same page.
Before we get to the synopsis, though, let me just assure you, listener, it's not as bad as the last one. I'm not saying it's good, but it's not as bad.
It is the best. I'd go so far as to say it is the best written Rincewind book.
I would say the same.
It
I was
also
just thinking
didn't
that.
make me hate myself because of how racist it was.
Yeah,
that is
I'm not
very
saying
true.
it entirely isn't racist, but it didn't make me want to die.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask about that when we
just
get
so
into the
you know.
actual book.
Yes. This book was. I actually finished reading this on the plane home from Tokyo, so I was in international waters when I finished it, and it's a very international book.
I'm now
parodies
picturing.
another place with maybe the most knowledge about that place that we've seen as of yet in Terry's writing.
Yeah,
I
like
guess
almost to a fault. Like a lot of this book like requires you to understand things about Aboriginal culture and mythology that.
Yeah, and also pop culture that involves Australia.
Yeah.
Like, not just pop culture, but really specific Australian references.
Yeah.
Like,
Which may have been more timely at the time.
yeah.
I could see, like, for people who live in Australia and for people who were in part of that weird 90s Australia is so cool sort of period that culture had, this book is probably their favorite. Because it gives you everything you want.
Yeah, like if you lived in that, Bart versus Australia period of history.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Who could forget the Bart versus Australia wars?
Grace certainly could.
But before we get too far into it, we should probably summarize exactly what this book is about, to which we turn to our illustrious synoptrix, Belina.
Give us the
herself.
goods, Belina.
Whenever you're ready, feel free to take it away.
I'm not sure if I can give you any goods here, but we'll see what happens.
Give us the mediocres.
Give us the bads.
The librarian is sick, one of those weird magical sicknesses that nobody can treat, but the unseen university faculty is of the opinion that they could if only they knew the librarian's true name. As that name has been suppressed quite thoroughly by a protective measure from any de-apening, the only living person who might know needs to be summoned. Unfortunately, that's Rincewind, aka the former assistant librarian. He's still out in 4X, aka Fantasy Australia. He's been busily falling into mud holes and generally failing at life, and now he's being sent on a quest by the local area's creator god to go end the drought that's retroactively always been the case on the entire continent. It's Rincewind's fault, he's told. This is true, but not for any of the reasons anyone thinks, and it's never actually addressed when it finally gets resolved. So the UU faculty, not able to use any other magical ways they use to locate or retrieve Rincewind they've used before, for some reason I forget, starts tracking down how to locate him. They end up stumbling through an otherwise unexplained portal into a small island thousands of years in the past in the general vicinity of 4X. They faff around for a bit, meet a god of evolution, sail to the still under construction last continent, and piss off the local creator god who traps the lot of them in a cave painting. Or maybe they trap themselves? Like a lot of things, it's never really clear or important beyond moving the plot forward. Meanwhile, thousands of years later, Rincewind has an adventure happen to him simply being present as a drawing with a kangaroo does all the actual adventuring for him. He eventually stumbles into the local UU equivalent and further stumbles into releasing the faculty from the millennia's-long imprisonment. As it so happens, the librarian had inadvertently stolen the tool that the creator god was going to use to introduce rain to the continent. Rincewind deploys it, and it rains for a nigh-on biblical period. We are reminded that this problem only occurred because of the search for Rincewind in the first place, and we are once again reminded that had he never been born, maybe we'd all be a lot better off. Oh yeah, lightning strikes and somehow this cures the librarian.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
The ending was kind of a wet fart, and I couldn't tell if I was, not paying attention or if it really did just suck.
The librarian got better somehow. The end.
Yeah, Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly,
okay.
The weirdest part of the ending is that Rincewind it gets solved, and then everyone is just like, wow, Rincewind, you're great. Want to stay here?
It's because he spends the last half of the book becoming a folk hero, which I did. That was pretty funny. I
mean, kind of, except why?
Yeah, but everyone likes him. It's the first time I've ever seen all the characters be nice to Rincewind. It's genuinely strange.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's weird that he doesn't just stick around, because it seems like that's kind of an ideal place for him to hang out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's a lot of deadly plants and animals and shit, and there's also a lot of danger, but there's danger everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like Rincewind has before said some shit man, if I could just not do very much and just hang out for the rest of my days, that'd be fine for him, and that's what they want. He's a folk hero now.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting interplay of Rincewind. He says that, but in his heart, he's a wizard and wants to go back to the university and have terrible things happen to him because that's
they have a university here.
Yeah, but that's the interesting.
We have university at home.
So
Yeah.
That's the interesting interplay of Rincewind and what they can do with him is that contrast between him as actually I would be happier just sitting here eating a sandwich with nothing going wrong, and that's not true on some level, and I know it. But the end of the book doesn't really do that. It just has a bunch of people suddenly go, wow, Rincewind, you're great. Want to stick around? And him going, nah, bye.
Yeah.
Sorry, if I do anything interesting, Terry will cancel my contract.
Everybody in Fantasy Australia wheels in a big cake.
Okay, everybody.
Bring it in,
Happy
guys.
Game Master Rincewind's birthday, everyone.
I mean, there's already the continent has already provably shown that it can support a Rincewind. There's another one there.
Yeah, but he's okay, it's a guy named Rincewind, but he doesn't have a lot of Rincewind attributes. For one thing, he seems to be good at magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He's
fair.
pretty alright at it.
Bill
except
Rincewind was good enough to become the Arch-Chancellor, Okay, did that get explained? Is the reason why is it just a coincidence that there's a second Rincewind, or...
It appears to just be a coincidence. They decide that they must be family, but there's no basis for it.
That didn't go anywhere. It's not like he's a parallel universe version. It's just oh yeah, he's probably a relative.
Yeah,
or
if
something.
I thought the implication was that the reason Rincewind is like this and such a weird fuck up is because he's from Australia, where people are weird. But
or
that's weird, and also
how
they
would he
don't
get
really
out?
say
Or
that. How did he get out? They don't really explain anything.
Or is it the UU? Because the UU staff in the past was looking for a Rincewind, and that idea,
So
it's
they were looking for a
maybe
wizard named
Yeah, it's
Rincewind, and so
if
that's a good name for a wizard.
Yeah, if the idea of wizards is ingrained enough in culture that eventually nature abhors a Rincewind vacuum or something.
Yeah.
But
Which I
Rincewind
hate
is a
to
vacuum.
imagine that.
Incidentally, on the subject of me saying people from Australia are just weird, this episode's going to have a lot of us talking about Australia. Have any of us actually been to Australia?
No.
Okay, yeah, and I don't think any of us are super familiar with it, but this book is so very Australian in a specific way, and it's going to be interesting.
I played Borderlands the pre-sequel once, if that counts.
Yeah, I have Australian friends. That's about it.
I read In a Sunburned Country by Bill Bryson. So
Australians are just one of those like acceptable targets, I guess, sort of like Italians, where it's just we're just assumed to use all of those weird stereotypes as the punchline of jokes. I don't really know if it's actually okay or if it's just that nobody has found a reason to say that it's not okay yet.
Well, like, okay, we could have a conversation about like the dynamics of power and racism.
I understand that,
but like,
I don't know if this sort of thing actually pisses off Australians. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, me neither. But it's going to be interesting because this book is like 50%. Okay, we went straight from Mad Max into Crocodile Dundee, one after the next, and we're immediately going from that to obscure reference to historical figure in Australia you haven't heard of.
Ned Kelly, baby.
Yeah.
Remember that one time where they in the book where they acted out the entirety of Waltzing Matilda?
Yeah.
The entire thing, and then they had to explain the joke again, just in case you didn't catch it the first time.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Australians, if you're listening to this, first off, congratulations on being able to make out what we're saying despite the sound being upside down. Second off, feel free to write in with your own personal views. As we say with basically every episode that goes to any place ever in this world, we're not experts. We don't know what we're talking about. We only come from America culture. Please.
Yeah, like
let us know your thoughts.
We all came together with this because we all have a lot of chemistry together. It's just that we also happen to have almost very similar backgrounds to one another, and we have very similar blind spots.
I will say, unlike Interesting Times, when reading it, when he makes a joke about Australia, I went, "Oh, that's Australia. That's pretty funny. That doesn't seem that bad." Unlike in Interesting Times, where he would make a joke about Japan, and I'd go, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
He's making fun of white people this time. That's an improvement.
Everyone from Sydney is a cowardly and subservient lot, inherently by race.
Right, like he doesn't do that. I mean, like here the jokes are generally good-natured. It's more like a lot of the jokes are just kind of like, Australians sure do talk like this.
Yeah, they sure have some silly catchphrases.
Yeah, as opposed to, as you said, all Asian people are... I'm not going to talk about what's in Interesting Times.
It's
you're
bad.
already there.
It's really bad.
If you're not listening to Interesting Times, congratulations. You managed to avoid listening to the episode about Interesting Times.
I knew you could do it.
Hopefully that also means you didn't read it either.
I still wish I could find... I know that Terry Pratchett spent a good chunk of his life living in Australia, and I kind of figured that played into a lot of this and why he gets so weirdly hyper-specific. Because, for once he's actually writing something that he knows. But I can't find actual dates for it. I don't know if he was already there at this point or if he was just some sort of Australian weeaboo at the time. But
An Australaboo.
There's probably an actual term for that. But
Underboo.
if you're listening, please write in with a term.
Please write up with your favorite uncomfortable sounding phrases.
Yeah.
Kangaboo. There we go.
There we go. That's a good one.
Thank you.
I mean,
I'm a
okay.
wordsmith.
I actually did want to talk about something in that regard, because thinking about the whole, racism aspect and all of that is how this book treats Aboriginal people versus other stuff. Basically every single time Pratchett's portrayed native peoples, which is to say, they don't really show up that much. But
no, it's kind of weird because they were at the end of Interesting Times when Rincewind ends up in Australia, he's met with a bunch of Aboriginals that act like typical Australian, white British people who have been left out in the sun too long. Yeah,
and it's So it's weird. It's weird that he just doesn't include them.
Yeah, I kind of
It's
wonder how much of that was intentional, because like they're only kind of mentioned in passing as to things that Rincewind was dealing with but wasn't doing so anymore, because every time he brought up the concept of rain because he talks about the weather, they would get really angry at him for some reason, which doesn't make any sense, come to think of it.
But there is the aspect of the creator god of Australia, who, incidentally, one of my favorite jokes in the book is the idea that Australia in Discworld, well, XXXX, exists just because there's a god out there who goes around making Australias in every world. He just shows up, goes, here's a big fucking area of ocean. I'm going to put a big old Australia in the middle and add some kangaroos, and just does that everywhere. Like, that's a great
That's really
bit.
good.
It's a great idea. But, like, it actually treats him with an amount of respect.
Yeah.
Like, the wizards are shitty to him, but it's in the sense of, it's very much in the Pratchett sense of, like, these
wizards
guys
are
are
shitty to
idiots around someone who is much, much smarter than them, and they don't realize it because they're kind of racist assholes.
Yeah.
Which is preferable to other stuff.
They do have a much more ridiculous god to bounce off of elsewhere in the book. So it's they really he is treated very respectfully, which is nice.
It's a weird contrast because like that god gets an amount of like strange respect as kind of like a figure who is above all of this bullshit, and when he does get involved, they're just really fucking annoyed at these dipshits who keep messing with his work.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if he stuck the wizards in the cave painting, or in the rock painting, whatever, or if they just did it to themselves by accident.
Either way, they're idiots.
Either way, they're idiots, and I'm still not sure why we needed Rincewind to get them out.
But then you compare that to every single other god in the book, or anyone else, or the previous creator god we talked about, and it's just like, that's interesting that this is the one time I've seen him be like, oh no, actually, but let's not be a weird dick about this one. So, okay, all right, thank you for not being weird and bad about that in the way you could have.
Yeah, that's cool. That being said, a critique might be like, well, I don't know about it. I guess it's a more complex critique than just, I didn't like this, but more just like, so like in this book, this is, as we said, this is probably the least racist Rincewind book. But a lot of that is accomplished by like Aboriginal people and culture just kind of not like being in it.
That was the what I was going to say. On the other hand, it's just not in it. Like Terry basically, I think he recognizes that like he doesn't want to fuck that up, but in order to not fuck that up, he just chooses not to engage with it at all. And to say that you can talk about Australia without talking about its Aboriginal community feels wildly myopic and extremely fucking British.
Because you get like all those, and Elspeth pointed out that like all those rock paintings, those are distinctly reminiscent of Aboriginal art. Like the whole like X-ray painting thing is like what he's going for there.
It's Aboriginal art,
but it's you'd think there'd be, I don't know. It seems like set dressing almost. It's weird.
Yeah,
I guess in my brain is like in a different book, Pratchett's joke here would have been actually all of the drawings by Aboriginal people were just done by the wizards, and that's why they're like this. And actually, the Aboriginal people, like that would have been the joke. And thank fuck we didn't get that. I wish that you had remembered that Australia has more than 50 years of history, and in those 50 years has more than white people making movies.
Yes.
It's not nearly as bad as it could have been.
Yes.
But
the most direct confrontational bit of that we even get is talking to our version of Dibbler in this book, Farrago Dibbler.
Yeah.
Who is against immigrants and also Aboriginals, and basically thinks that the only people who belong in the country are himself and his mates.
Yeah.
It's a quick parody of some very huge idiots.
Huge, But yeah, it's like it's mentioned briefly and in passing, but also that's like a major, huge, and thorny issue of like indigenous rights within Australia's culture.
And that comes right next to like this, like
The joke about the meat pie floater thing.
well, because like normally I love the bit like wherever you go there was a dibbler. But this book has like a whole page of like Rincewind has been everywhere and he's met every dibbler.
We got some MSV, some mobile suit variation dibblers that we don't actually see in the real series.
Yeah, like like some of them I thought were like, this feels a little racist, Terry.
Yeah, like the Inuit one.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's. Like, and normally I love that bit, but this book does manage to kind of sour it with.
There it is. Well, now he'd eaten cut me own throat dibblers, sausages in a bun, and disemboweled me self-honorably Dibala's funny-colored antique eggs, and survived, although there had been a few minutes when he'd hoped he wouldn't. He'd eaten Aljubla's highly suspicious couscous, drunk the terrible yak butter tea made by May I Never Achieve Enlightenment de Blanc, forced down the topless, bottomless smorgasbord of Diblossensen, and tried not to chew the lumps of unmentionable blubber pervaded by May I Be Kicked in My Own Ice-Hole Dibuki. His stomach heaved at the memory of that. After all, it was one thing to butcher dead beached whales, and quite another just to leave them there until they exploded into bite-sized chunks of their own accord. As for the green beer made by Swallow Me Own Blow Dart Blang Blang...
Christ, Terry.
Terry!
Yeah.
You really had to shove all the racism into one page.
And this is all leading up to the joke where later on, Rincewind tries Fair Ghost, and it's actually all right.
Yeah, it's good if you're drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's... all right, man.
I think Terry knew this was kind of the last Rincewind book, and so he had to get all of it in now.
I really feel like he knew this was going to be the last Rincewind book. No,
Except it's not.
it's not, but it's the last.
Yeah, he's
book
in another
about
book also
Rincewind.
starting with the last. This time
Yeah.
for real, I guess. But yeah, it
last underscore final underscore version 3.
I will say.
open
one
parentheses
thing
2 close parentheses.
One thing I did like in this book, I actually did enjoy the I guess like familiar of the other guy.
Oh, the talking kangaroo.
Yeah, the talking kangaroo
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
following Rincewind around. Rincewind always has a buddy who's there with him,
Yeah.
being like weird at him, so that Rincewind's, oh no, I'm going to run away, has
Yeah.
something to bounce off
Yeah.
of. Except in interesting times where he didn't, and it
Well,
sucked.
no, he had 2 flowers daughter.
Oh yeah, and that sucked.
And he's
sucks.
spent a good chunk of the book with like Cohen and them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
But no,
blame
like-
you for forgetting that.
Yeah, no. In this one, he's got a kangaroo god that wants him to
Scrappy.
save Scrappy. Who wants him to save the world, and
Yeah.
like it's a great interplay because he keeps being like, "I'm going to run the other direction," and the kangaroo god just waits. It's like, "Ha, that's exactly the direction I wanted you."
Yeah.
And you know what? It's funny actually. It's pretty
Yeah.
funny every time.
I remember why, I remember really enjoying this book when I was reading through the Discworld books as a teenager. And for the longest time, as we've been going through this podcast, I'm like, was that book really that good? Because Rincewind books aren't that good. I can't remember why I thought that book was that good. Now I remember why. There's talking animals in it. I am an easy goddamn mark.
I have several notes here about like there's like sheep. There's a whole like furry bar.
There's a talking
Yeah, he
crocodile.
wanders
and
into
like
the far
sheep
side.
people.
Okay, so like he does that, and like the implication is that this is because time is fucked up there or something.
Yeah, like I
Or
said, he
like
just walks into
Rincewind
the far
is drunk
side.
and seeing things.
But that never comes up again.
Yeah,
like,
no. There's just
nowhere in
talking
the rest of
animals.
the book do they talk about like, oh yeah, well, time is fucked up here or whatever. Like, do they? I don't remember.
No,
anything for the
there was
rest
a
of the
lot
book.
of doing about like, oh, the time is weird here because it's all knotted up and it's
Yeah, but
very-
does it happen after that?
trying to
No.
no because it kind of
I-
settles
yeah.
down after that.
It just stops. It just goes back to being a book.
Time
Like
is
there's
knotted
the
up
there's
in
the
one place,
cave
and it's
that
the
that
wizards.
the wizards are in. That the cave had only been there for thousands of years, but only like in the last couple of days.
And like Scrappy tells Rincewind that like you've already done it, but also you still have to do it. But I know you're going to do it because you've already done it.
Yeah, but
you
none
have
of
to
that
do it.
stuff
just haven't
felt like
already done it
because
yet.
of time being
Yeah.
weird. It just felt like because
Yeah,
there's
you're
a time
just-
travel
yeah,
in this
yeah.
book. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, there's a time travel. Yeah, that explains it. He didn't need to also be like, he didn't need to go, and also time is out of whack. And you know what that means?
Furries.
Furries.
Yeah, like-
Whenever there's
I mean-
weird time shenanigans,
As
you'll
you know,
find furries.
as you know,
I mean, I'm cool with that.
yeah, did the fandom ever do anything with like the bar full of animal people?
I don't know.
Like
but,
I said,
if
Gary
you-
Larson, his entire career.
Yeah, if you want to write that fanfic, please let us know. We're always on the lookout for people writing fan fiction for the unloved corners of the Discworld.
If you want to write that fan fiction, don't. Instead, write fan fiction about transgender the luggage.
Yeah.
Yes!
Because, dear God, that part of the book, we're going to talk about it,
We're gonna
and
have to
it
talk
could
about
have been
that.
so much better.
This is a podcast featuring 4 trans people. We are going to talk about the transgenders. I came expecting the racism. I didn't expect the transgenders in this
And
book,
I was
though.
gonna say, like, I actually have a note here saying, thank you for being normal about the drag queens, Terry. I was waiting for the other two to drop for so long, and it did not.
Yeah.
It was.
There were
sort of.
moments
Yeah.
when I was this.
Okay, this is
wasn't
a
great,
point in popular culture where the line between gay, drag, and trans was virtually non-existent to the
Which,
majority
like-
of the population.
And, like, historically, that's, like, also, like, there are people in the past who we would call trans women, but they would have called themselves queens.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's fine.
It should also be noted that this entire segment is just Terry Pratchett doing one really long rip off of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yeah,
which I
except
went
that
and
instead of
watched
being about
last
2
night.
drag queens and a trans woman, it's about 2 maybe drag queens, maybe trans women, and a cis woman.
Yeah,
cis woman.
which is a really strange choice to be like, I replaced the trans character with a cis lady.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was
Because
here to
she was-
complain about that.
Because she was filling in for her
Her sister.
Yeah. And I think there's I laughed at the joke that, like, man, I can't keep... The cis woman feels inadequate because she can't keep up or whatever. Like, the cis woman makes a lousy drag queen. That's a pretty good joke.
It's
Okay,
There's some
I do-
jokes that like they feel
Very-
transphobic if they're about trans people, but because they're about drag queens, it's not as weird,
Yeah.
but still
Yeah.
kind
I
of
do need
weird.
to give one important bit of credit here. The very first thing that we learn about the drag queens is a cab. They hear that he's
Yes.
being chased by the Watch, and they go, "Oh shit, yeah, get in here. We'll cover for you."
Let me say this: I can give Pratchett shit for all of this. I can't give them shit.
Yeah.
In the book, they're wonderful and I love them.
They're amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah, they
They're
beat the shit out of
amazing.
anyone
They-
that is weird to them.
I would roll with them so hard. They're awesome.
And most importantly, when we find the luggage, it is wearing a
Yeah.
bajillion little high heels
Yeah.
and
Yes.
carting around all their clothes. And Rincewind immediately is like, stop being so transgender, which fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
And the luggage is like, fine, but then refuses to take off its
Or the ribbon.
no,
Right?
it
stud.
it got itself pierced.
Right. It refuses to take the
that
lip
off.
ring off or
what
whatever.
was the little nickname they had?
It was a
Trunky.
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 Yeah.
Oh, she's
Like, I
helped
love
us so
her.
much, Trunky.
I love that. I love that she's just. I love that Trunky's just like, well, I can't find Rincewind, so I'll hang out with these drag queens
Yeah, it's
for
like-
a while.
yeah, like
I'll hang out with these people with gender. We'll have fun.
Yeah,
That's
like
fine.
she's hanging
That's
out with
fine.
some other box. Like, yeah, this feels good. I've been buried or something forever. Like, I can do this.
Yeah. I don't think they ever explained how the luggage got into that opal, too.
Oh,
Not really.
yeah.
It was there.
Yeah.
It's there because it should be in a Rincewind book.
And you know what? This makes the luggage having a bunch of tiny little baby feet worth it.
Yes.
You
That's
know what?
true.
You can give it heels. Give her heels.
I don't want to know where it got all the tiny baby-sized high heels, but
I mean,
Oh, Ernest Hemingway is clamping his hand over my mouth.
for
doesn't
sale,
want me to besmirch
356
this
pairs
and
of baby
I'm
shoes.
glad she could find shoes in
deeply
her
worn.
size. Like, I'll always tell this fucking story. When I came out to my dad, he apologized that I was gonna have a hard time finding shoes for my size goddamn 13s. So, you know what? Good for her.
Yeah, like Rincewind is kind of weird about them at times. There's jokes of like
He doesn't-
some of the standard like, wow, those are some
Very strong
Yeah.
and powerful women.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also attractive. He doesn't say he isn't like, wow, those are men.
No, those
He's
are
very complimentary to them, but he's also a little weird about
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
man. Those women are like sparkly and dazzling and
He's very like first time cis ally about
Yeah.
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It's not. It's pretty okay, but it could be worse. Mostly, it's just like a lot of this book, a little bit confusing.
yeah.
Yes.
On the other hand, I will say I also went and watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'll do a very short review of here. You can't
Fire
stop me.
away.
Yeah, be my guest.
It is For anyone who doesn't know, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert is a Australian comedy film from 1995 about 2 drag queens played by Hugo Weaving and Guy Pearce, which, hang on, and one transgender woman who is played by a cis guy. I don't remember who exactly it is. And they go on a road trip across the desert to get to a hotel that's in the middle of the desert because one of them reveals halfway through that he's actually married to a lady, which is weird when you're a drag queen and very, very, very homosexual in like how you act, and his wife wants him for something and such. Which she's one of the best parts of the movie because you spend half the movie going like, how does like someone this extremely queer get like into a heterosexual marriage and such?
In 1994, let's be really clear. This was 1994.
Yeah, no, 1994. You meet her, and it's like, oh, he found someone who is exactly as deranged and queer as he is.
Love wins.
Just a fucking absolute. Like at one point, like they mentioned that she had a girlfriend a little while ago, and it's just like, oh, okay, they're just a mess. Okay, yeah, that tracks.
Love wins.
It's a weird film. It's messy. It definitely, you can feel at times that it wasn't made by a bunch of queer people, that it was meant, but at the same time, like it's really loudly gay and really loudly queer, and I really love the performances in it. Hugo Weaving as a drag queen is fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially if you're thinking of Elrond.
I was about to say it was his training for when he had to play Elrond.
Hell,
fucking fantastic. But like, they're all really great. It's really over the top. It's funny and entertaining. It's weird. There's like a recurring joke about one of the drag queens dead naming the trans woman like over and over because he's a huge asshole and he likes pissing people off in whatever way he can. And I think that joke would have read really differently to someone else watching the film who isn't transgender and isn't like, dude, that's
come on,
fucked up. Come on.
But like, it's funny, it's entertaining, it's a great time, and also like, sometimes you want to watch a movie that is just like, no, actually being gay and doing drag and being trans and being incredibly in conservative people's face and hating them is a good thing. Fuck those people.
Yes.
It's good for that. I will say, there's some scenes, like there's a scene where a character almost gets assaulted, like be warned of that. And more than that, there's like 5 minutes in the middle of the film that are bafflingly racist. They introduce one character, bafflingly racist bit with her, and then she leaves. And if you watch the film, you will know what I'm talking about, and you will go, what the fuck was that afterwards? And then the movie will continue. So be warned about that. Yeah.
That's so weird.
It's the strangest thing in the film. You're just watching it, and then they're really racist. Not even about anyone like in Australia, like not a group in Australia.
Oh.
The film has has Aboriginal people in Australia, and it's actually a pretty like nice scene. It's
Weird.
relatively well done. No, it's much weirder and fucked up than that.
That's bizarre.
Anyways, I do recommend the film. Aside from that, if you can ignore that, because wow, it's fucked up.
Yeah. I want to do a double feature of that and then the American remake of it, To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything.
I was wondering about that because I always had the movies mixed up in my head.
It's because that is a remake of the other one. Yeah. It's one of those American habits of seeing a piece of media do mildly good, and then I guess some dude in Hollywood was like, wow, they did a great job making this. I did a great job making this.
My biggest problem is when I watched it, I just kept thinking of the drag queen character who was played by a gay dude from The Birdcage, Albert, who is just one of my favorite characters ever. Absolutely fantastic. That movie has some problems, but none of them are him. Fucking amazing. Best movie. Watch that movie solely for Nathan Lane's performance. Oh
Yes.
my god, it's so good.
Yes, absolutely.
I love her.
Yes.
Man, I just kept thinking of her. It's like all the characters in this are great, but none of them compare to my favorite character of this type.
We gotta build like a film drag queen all-stars. Like, bring it back out. Put him in a big old crossover fic.
Tim Curry wins, I think.
That is true.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can beat Dr. Frankenfurter.
I mean, the template, right?
Yeah,
Like-
like that's the standard.
For real.
Yeah.
Anyways, well,
completely unrelated.
that's our film corner for
Yeah.
this episode, because there really isn't a hell of a lot to talk about with this book.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
well,
Hey, speaking of this book, while we're talking about things, why don't we talk about the other entire half of this book?
Yeah,
involving
where the wizards go back in time.
Remember the other part of the
'cause,
book that isn't in Australia?
Like, I will
at
say,
all?
I think this is one of my favorite Rincewind books, because, like, Rincewind isn't in half. Like, a solid half of the book
You
is,
get a
like,
break.
is, like, the wizards. And, like, when I was reading this, I would just notice that, like, when I read this on my fucking Kindle, I, like, keep an eye on the percentage, and, like, when I was reading the wizard parts, I would just fly by.
Yeah.
I liked them.
It's really strange how this book is like the Wizards at Unseen University. Maybe like 10 pages. The Wizards on a fucked up weird island.
Yeah.
200 pages. The Wizards in not Australia. Like 5 pages. They just spend the whole book sitting on this island. There's not really a reason for it.
Yeah.
The book could have very easily been like, they went through a portal to the past, and that portal led to 4X, the continent.
Old Australia.
Also,
Old
the wizards
Australia.
didn't even need to be there to, like, fix it. Like, they mostly just argue about it while Rincewind
Again,
fixes
they
everything.
caused the problem because the librarian
okay,
accidentally
yes.
steals the thing that makes it rain.
Yeah, that's not the worst thing. It's just baffling how the entire island segment, it only
It's
exists
just
to
faffing
get
around,
them
yeah.
through the
Like-
portal,
like-
and that's it. And
like-
it barely needs to do that, so they just sit
It's-
on a weird island
Terry
for
wanted
a
to
while.
do. Terry wanted to do that bit about the god of evolution. Like, he really wanted to do
He
that.
really wanted to.
It really, it feels like a shaggy dog joke that leads up to the punchline of that, which is that he created roaches because roaches are the ultimate life form. But
And, like, there's some good stuff along the way. Like, if nothing else, this book made me really appreciate Ponder Stibbins, or at least, like, feel for my fellow weird little computer scientist and his computer friend.
Yeah.
And how he invents sex.
I'm gonna use the art we got of Hex as the image for this episode, despite Hex maybe only being in this book in one page, because it's too good of a piece of art for me not to use.
I love
Can we put Hex in the like Australian hat in this with the corks?
Yeah.
I mean,
Just like clip art one onto it.
yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. I think that'll work given the theme.
I'll put
of
that.
the
and I'll put sponsored by Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember whether or not we discussed this actually on an episode or not. If it was just fucking around off in the margins. We kept talking about just making her the mascot for the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
she
think
kind of
she
is.
is. Yeah, I think
She's
she
the
is at this
unofficial
point,
official
yeah.
mascot. When I'm gonna redraw the cover image for Discoverers now that we're over halfway through, and I was gonna include her in the drawing.
Yes. Yes.
She's
Love
our
her
gal.
so much.
I kind of had a
she's in here
crushing
briefly.
I had a crushing realization when reading this that when I try to picture what I thought of as Discworld, 20 odd years ago, this unfortunately is exactly the sort of thing that I tended to remember. I remember the fucking around. I remember the weird jokes. I remember the fact that you can't help but sit here and make comparisons to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, especially when we've got a Slarty Bartfast in this book.
Yeah. My third note here is very Douglas Adams here at the start.
Yes. No, it is. This is the sort of thing that people remembered him for at the time. We haven't gotten into the back half of Discworld is when he really gets into the social commentary. We're still in a lot of the fucking around before the finding out. And this book is, weirdly enough, almost pure nostalgia in that way. There's no substance to it. It's just the very specific flavor that I say you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by
that one
you
remembers.
remember it being.
If we were if we had a different rubric for our ranking system in this podcast, this could be at the top. Because while it isn't the best Discworld book, it is maybe the most
Of itself.
Discworld.
Yeah,
Discworld book.
It's the most. The thing is, it takes the old Discworld where it's mostly reference jokes, wizards faffing about and being weird, and like the stuff that you think of, a couple of maybe meaningful moments, but mostly just in the service of like anticlimaxes and jokes. But it's the one book that does that while still being late enough that it is good writing, and it isn't interesting times, so it's not super racist
It's not
the whole
super
time. Like it's
racist,
not
yeah.
horribly racist. So I don't know how many other books there are that are late enough in the series to have that sort of good writing and such. I mean, Hogfather would probably be another one.
Yeah.
Where there's just kind of a lot of moments where things are happening and you just kind of go, oh, that was funny.
But Hogfather had, like, stuff going on.
Yeah.
This book is really, like, things just kind of happen to Rincewind.
Yes, but
And things kind of happen to the wizards.
Rincewind
like
doesn't
the
do
wizards,
a goddamn
like-
thing for 80% of the book.
yeah.
He runs
Scrappy
away.
does
and he
all-
runs into
literally all the
interesting
work.
Situations. Like, to be frank, that's what I want from Rincewind. I want him to run away in a funny way, and when he runs away, I want him to run into something funny,
Like-
and me to go, haha, that's funny.
Like I did enjoy the bit where, like, for the back half of the book, Rincewind gets accused of stealing a sheep that he did not steal, and then along the way he, like, invents Marmite, and, like, and everyone,
Yeah.
including the cops, really wanted to become a folk hero. They're even like, well, you know, if you escape from prison, what are you gonna do, huh? You know,
Yeah.
they're encouraging him to escape, and, like, well, you know, you can't have a big last stand at a kitchen. We'll count to 10.
Yeah.
You know, after he invents, you know, some famous Australian dessert or whatever.
Oh, yeah, Peaches Nelly.
Yeah, that was a good bit. Where, like, oh, I have to invent a famous dessert for this opera singer,
God.
but her name is Nellie Butt. What am I gonna do?
By the time they got to the opera house, I was like, this... So, like Terry just made a list of Australian things.
Yeah.
And he was getting low on the list at that point.
Yeah, like even the bit where, like, you know, the guy who works at the opera house kitchen is, like, distraught. He's deep in his cups because, like, oh man, why couldn't that lady, you know, Trifle Delight or whatever,
Yeah.
become famous? No, it's Nellie Butt. How do you name a pudding after Nellie Butt? And that's why everyone likes him at the end. Is by the end he's become a folk hero. Which, again, and everyone really wants that for him. They really want him to be a folk hero. They don't care about punishing him.
I
Yeah.
don't understand why the creator god needed him to be a folk hero.
Yeah, that I'm not sure about. I feel like that was just like...
Something about morphogenic resonance of
'Cause-
belief fields
Yeah.
in the
Like-
orbital crosstalk of...
Like he gets to the Bugrup University, and they think they summoned him as a demon. Which, okay, I just realized that's an Eric callback, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
There were a couple Eric callbacks in this book, which I did not expect.
Yeah.
And more than that, they were funny, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
especially like the revelation of, oh, dude, there's like millions of creator gods. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like, they even call back to the Aztecs, I think. You know, whatever the disc calls it, the Aztecs. That was kind of a bad human sacrifice joke, Terry. That was kind of fucked up.
Tezeman.
Yeah, there you go.
God,
Yeah.
I just loved the creator god in this. I love a guy who just goes around being like, yeah, I don't know what this universe needs. Fucking Australia.
Yeah.
But just like
Yeah.
funniest that I don't know why that got me so hard, but it's so funny.
Just
to me.
the Australian guy.
I want every story to have that as an explanation for part of their universe. Just like you have a coherent theology for 90% of your stuff, and then there's one place that's just there because some guy walked in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, hey, you should have this, and then left.
Yeah, you know, you specialize.
Yeah.
Like, we hired an Australia contractor.
Yeah.
Except they didn't hire
Yeah,
him.
he just showed
sneaks
up.
in.
Yeah, he was full of good ideas. Nobody was paying attention at the time. We just figured, why not just let him do his thing, you know?
Yeah, he was helping out.
Yeah, that was great. The other creator god in this was...
The Mr.
The
God
He
evolution
Evolution
never
god.
gave himself
Which-
a name. He was just,
Yeah.
I just thought of him as Darwin.
Yeah.
Yeah, which...
Evolution, it's so selfish.
Yeah, and I liked it. It was funny enough. Like the idea of
Yeah.
like putting an elephant together or whatever, and like taking like how many wizards does it take to explain sex, and then like Mrs. Whitlow, the housekeeper, has to step up, and then you're like, there's a Mr. Whitlow. Like she has to have done it once.
So the whole thing with like Miss Whitlow and the senior wrangler and that whole bit. Do you think this is the horniest Rincewind book?
Like I think if only because like it says sex so many times.
We're talking
And, like-
about sex.
Like most of the time when we're around the wizards, they're all like fighting over Mrs. Whitlow.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
like being horny about
It's-
her, and
it's,
like
it's the horniest Rincewind book, and it can only accomplish that by moving
Rincewind
Rincewind
away.
literally thousands of years away
yeah,
from the horny part.
Rincewind, to his credit, is nowhere near sex. And like to be clear, Rincewind has fucked. Like that's canon.
Oh,
and he
yes.
has had sex, which is I think more than you can, is more than you can say than most of the UU faculty who like
Yes.
very clearly like, well, I
mean-
wouldn't know anything about that.
I mean, think about it. Rincewind is fucked. He's terrible at magic.
yeah, no, that's
the other
ca-
magicians
that's
don't
canon.
fuck.
They're very clear about that. Is one of the reasons Rincewind
Yeah.
is a shitty wizard is because he's had sex.
Magic is stored in the balls.
Yeah.
Canonically.
Yes.
And that's how we got all that shenanigans with sorcery, which,
Yeah.
another book we don't want to get into right now, but...
I still kind of... Okay, so Terry tends to do this thing where he just absolutely refuses to describe women at all.
Yes.
Like, he's... And it got so goddamn grating in this book because he kept using Miss Whitlow and refusing to... Just talking circles around... The narrator was having more trouble talking about her than the wizards were.
Yeah, and like they described her clothes. Like there's a whole bit where like, well, she's not wearing a bikini. It's more of a New Zealand because it's 2 lab masters connected, whatever. But like, I still don't know what she looks like, right? Like, other than like,
she's a very large woman, and Terry just does not want to say that.
Yeah, like is she Susan shaped? Is she like
Should I picture like hotted boob woman, or should I picture like epic MILF?
Yeah,
like, what are we talking about?
Like, I
here?
mean, I will be admitted that I just kind of assumed her to be like a 50s or 60-year-old Agnes. I was thinking like opera singer kind of.
Yeah.
Generally round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like but it's weird that
there's some implication that she looks wildly different with the whole temporal nonsense. But again, he just doesn't want to talk about it because the narrator has just as much trouble with the idea of sex as the wizards. Yeah. Although that kind of did make me like the fact that she just very clearly opens up to the evolution god, and they just have this very frank discussion. It's just no big deal, and they both have plenty of good laughs over it.
Yeah, because sex is funny. Like it's core to the Princess Grace erotic comedy experience. Like I'm glad the book acknowledges that. Like sex is kind of funny.
That's true. If you're, hold on, I'm thinking of the worst thing in the world. If you're not chuckling, you're not fuckling. There
Correct.
you go.
That was bad.
Yeah.
No, what are you talking about? That was great.
You're so wise.
I was banging. I tried
thing.
giggling. I tried chortling. There's nothing sexy in the world that rhymes with chortling.
Oh, you've never done borderling?
Listeners, if you can think of something sexy that rhymes with chortling, please write in.
You've never nordled?
I've never nordled once. I feel so prudish.
I've got one, but unfortunately, I don't think "cack" actually means anything to anybody.
Oh,
which
it
is
means
a shame.
something.
Which is a
It's
shame
not
because
what
that
you want
would
it
be.
to mean.
Hey, babe, you want to go jordle? Which, speaking of, check out this segue. We get a fucking now you're thinking with portals moment in 1995, whenever this came out, with Ponder Stibbins mentioning, these portals, like you could put one of them above the other, and have something fall forever and get infinite power.
Buddy, we could invent sex too with this thing.
Which he does try to do. Normally, I kind of think of the wizards as you have Rid Cully, you have. And the rest of them kind of a blah, but I love Ponder here. He thinks with portals. He my weird little computer scientist nerd.
Yeah,
and
he's come a long way since moving pictures.
Yeah. Ponder is just the dork who really, really wants everyone else to take things even the littlest bit seriously. Yeah. But also, it's kind of worrying that that's true because when wizards take things seriously like that, bad things can happen.
He's the only one treating this creator drawer guy with any sort of respect. He's genuinely excited to be on the evolution team and invent sex. He's just like me.
I mean, not just like you. You would not run and scream in terror at the idea of I need your help working on a cockroach.
Correct. I would wow, cool bug. I'm a bug appreciator.
That's great. We should find a way to turn depressed guys into these. Sorry about the sirens.
Listeners, if you are the god of evolution creating sex, please write in so that Grace can come help you.
I was recently laid off. I'm wide open. Email me. jobs@princess.software.
If you need help with making bugs sexier, and no offense to you, I know you're already at 100%.
Yeah, you're
but
the
if we could
sexiest
push
bug I know.
That extra Grace over 1%, here just begging someone to isekai.
I'm literally wearing the smallest
fair.
top I brought.
Correct.
Yes. What else do we have to talk about with this book? What was your favorite joke? I will say one of my least favorite things in this book was using the euphemism "at it like knives" to describe the act of fucking. That's a horrible way to describe sex.
That's pretty. That could be interesting.
I mean, okay. I guess going at it like knives means scissoring, right? Because that's what happens when two knives go at it.
I would say going at it like scissors.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a sexual freakazoid, but like, I don't know.
Okay.
I can think of other weapons that would get me in the mood better. Honestly,
I actually did have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what joke I actually liked. I think the one that actually caught me out of nowhere was when the wizards are arguing of why the fuck is there a cigarette bush here? Under what circumstances were people smoking this? What kind of bird flies in and just stops for a quick smoke break? And the bursar, without losing a beat, just goes, "A puffin."
Yeah.
And everyone just stares at him. That got me.
He spends the back half of the book making like the worst jokes, like, you did it? Which, again, I have to respect.
I love that the Bursar got internality in this.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, no, the Bursar's a much better character than he usually is. He was less dried frog pills gag and just man who has unfortunately had to escape from reality because he lives in unreality.
Yeah, because he has to spend so much fucking time with Ridcully, who is like, I get it, man. I'd check out too if I worked with him.
If I worked with a guy who, when he gets bored, fires a crossbow right over my head, I'd fucking go nuts too.
Also, like the start of the book makes him like every like business dipshit you've ever met. We're like, we've got to start like filing more reports and being more synergy and shit.
Yeah,
like,
this is what I love about Ponder. Ponder invents something to show off like unwritten books and like. Ponder is the computer science guy who's like, I've discovered a way to do something good with the computer. Yeah. It's beautiful. And immediately this gets used for the stupidest thing imaginable. And he's just like, I hate this.
It was so fucking real. Oh my god. It was every goddamn thing I've ever had in my line of work.
Yeah.
It's
you write something incredible, you make something incredible with your computer, and your boss immediately uses it to become worse business guy.
I can't believe Terry talked about deep learning in this book from 1997. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Predictive.
I do appreciate the idea of things aren't actually impossible until you try them. So Hex just tries a trillion things a second, that none of which should work, but they work for just long enough that you can extract tiny bits of information from the fabric of reality.
I love that. I love this technomancy, I think they call it. Like, I love Hex. I love this.
That's so cool.
I mean, my two favorite jokes in the book, I think, are one, actually, no. I think my favorite jokes are... one, the Australia gag, which I said, all of that. The fact that it's just like a place that gets added. Two, the fact that Rincewind picks up halfway through the book that saying no worries is just a really easy thing to say. And then throughout the rest of the book, something will go wrong and he'll just go, no worries, and then start running in the same way. And like,
no worries, all right, mate.
Yeah, and like, the fact that he just immediately is like, I don't understand these phrases. Wait, you can say this in response to anything and then just not worry about it?
He has a gift for language.
Cool, great. I love when a phrase means nothing.
Yeah, he has a gift for languages. Like, it's good to see that, like, used.
And then lastly, I think the other one was the fact that when the wizards are drawing their own things on the wall that are like shit compared to the thing that's actually being drawn, they all end up arguing over what a duck is, which leads to them
designing a platypus by committee.
Yeah, designing the platypus by committee, which is the joke about the platypus. Like,
I'm ashamed to admit it didn't click until I recognized right as the joke crested like what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I will say the joke that I would have liked a lot is the joke where Rincewind is like, Rincewind claims he's a racist because he runs all the races, and then he finds out what it means, and he's like, no, I'm definitely not. Except I read Interesting Times.
Yeah, so you are racist. Yeah.
You are. I'm sorry. Yeah. You kind of are.
I'm honestly glad Terry beat that one Reddit guy's like, that one Reddit post, like, is it wrong to hate a certain race? You click through, it's like, I just hate the 10K. It's not I would much prefer the half marathon or whatever.
I will agree that Rincewind would insist he is not, but, so are most people that are racist.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think my favorite joke, my favorite joke here was, like, it was nested inside of him, of the Waltzing Matilda pastiche, about him inventing Vegemite, but literally talking about, like, the Brian David Gilbert Midnight Gourmand video.
Yes!
Now he remembered with a shudder some of the great wheezes he's had on similar occasions. Spaghetti and custard, that'd been a good one. Deep fried peas, that'd be another triumph. And then there'd been that time when it had seemed like a really good idea to eat some flour and yeast, and then drink some warm water, because he'd run out of bread. And after all, that's what the stomach saw, wasn't it? The thing about late night cookery was that it made sense at the time. It always had some logic behind it. It just wasn't the kind of logic you use around midday.
Rincewind, welcome to Princess Grace's world-famous late-night hash browns. Congratulations. A+ for you, bud.
I've absolutely done that. That's like the time I tried to make applesauce by putting a bunch of apples in a blender. That's not how you make applesauce, by the way.
Did you make apple juice at least?
I made very small, messy apples. That's what I made. I just was making it, and Nero came into the kitchen what the fuck are you doing?
There's a bit here that was not a reference when Sir Terry wrote it, but there's a bit when Rincewind gets a horse, and I forget the horse's name, but he's after he shears a bunch of sheep or whatever. Yeah, Snowy, there we go. Which again is, I think part of the joke is that why would you name a horse Snowy if you've never had any sort of precipitation?
Well, according to the Elspeth annotations, it is one extended reference to something.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was though, but it was the reference to something.
And I remember waltzing Matilda. I did the song for my for an elementary school pageant, so I remember waltzing Matilda. I know of that, but then they say something old Snowy, she's not very fast, but she's steady as anything. And so when Rincewind comes to a cliff, the horse just goes the man from Snowy River, of course.
Banjo Patterson, poet and author of many fine Australian tales, wrote a narrative poem called The Man from Snowy River, telling of a man who rode a creature something like a racehorse undersized. Patterson's other writing credits include the lyrics to Waltzing Matilda, which gives him a strong claim to have invented the idea of the Australian hero, which is what the old man is trying to turn Rincewind into. See also annotations for page 145, 146, 148, 170.
Yep. Yeah, and so eventually he comes to a cliff, a canyon, and he just stays on the horse and he just goes straight down the side, up the other side, drives upside down for a bit, and it goes on too long, but it reads like he's big rigs over the road racing, if you remember that old chestnut.
Yes.
No, absolutely not a reference that made sense at the time, but I did enjoy big rigs over the road horsing.
Did you enjoy it, or did you enjoy the fact that you got to write down on your notepad that I can see for the first time big rigs over the road horsing?
I appreciated that. But, again, nice joke that you were not making at the time, but that is good in retrospect.
Emergent joke play.
Yeah. They make a Maxwell's Demon reference at the end, which was cute, to separate the salt from the water.
Yeah. I will say, I think my award for most British thing was, besides, more complex socio-political tones. I liked that they made a big deal about the beer being different down there, and that it was clear and non-chunky style. Because, I guess that would make sense, because the beer in Ankh-Morpork is going to be British beer, like porters and shit, which is going to be a lot denser.
And it also made from the River Ankh, which is chunky style.
Yes, it is.
I don't think they make beer from that.
Yeah, where else would they get?
You just strain it through a sock, wring it out.
Yeah, presumably they have some freshwater supply and they collect rain or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would get fresh water. I don't think you could call anything that's ever been in the River Ankh fresh.
Well, there's probably groundwater.
You could call much of what's in the River Ankh beer, however.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's certainly some sort of culture going on in it.
You could probably make. I'm sure Dibbler has tried to make a living bottling whatever's in the River.
Problem is the bottle melts.
Yeah.
We're really good at this. Have we considered just
it's
writing
like that
our
puzzle
own?
in Secret of Monkey Island.
I think we have to write our own fanfic at some point. Put our money where our
you
mouth
have to keep shoveling the grog into a different mug every few paces.
Yeah.
This is the problem, is that Pratchett does a reference, and usually, he does it either quietly or moves on from it.
Yeah.
We do a reference, and we're just all right, we got to talk about Monkey Island for the next 5 minutes, because all of us are like that. It's wonderful, and part of why I love this podcast.
Yeah.
I know it. Or possibly, what the wizards say, they go through this portal, and they're oh, it's a whole other world, and I wrote, it's an isekai, which, again, is not, a word Sir Terry would have really had access to, or would not have, meant the same thing it means to us, but,
Lost in a tropical island paradise with all of my fellow professors?
See? The thing is, it's a portal fantasy, but then it becomes an isekai when, Mrs. Whitlow comes through and knocks over like the piece of the thing they're using to prop the window
Wow.
open.
I guess it really was a fruit of evolution. Before I knew it, my life had it made. Don't watch that show. It's terrible.
So bad. So
It's
fucking
so bad.
Did you get it on Bad Anime Roulette?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Fucking damn. I don't think we finished the first episode. That shit was
so bad.
brisk. Ooh.
We gotta play some Bad Anime Roulette.
Oh, we gotta play some fucking. We can do that later tonight if you want.
I'm gonna recommend that in the end of the show notes. We'll get to it, and then you'll hear it.
If you're feeling sinister, do that.
There's also a bit where when they're worried about having to replace the librarian, they're like, oh, the books get unruly. They read each other. They learn from each other. Books can read other books. And then there's a whole thing. Well, at least they can't open doors. Yet, as far as we know, unless one of the books is about how to open doors, in which case we're fucked.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bit about they're trying to deaden end the librarian, who has conveniently ripped out all the pages in the yearbooks the year he graduated, and so on.
Librarian trans icon.
Yeah,
frankly.
honestly, good for him. I get it.
I mean, he's trans
because he knows. Yeah,
That's true.
Otherwise he knows the other wizards are going to try to turn him back.
Would he count as Therian if he started as a human but then turned into an ape? Is that the ultimate peak final form?
He's kind of the opposite of a Therian, though, because he's a human who got put into a animal body.
But then he was like, "Yeah, I'll roll with this."
He adjusted to
he
it.
didn't
But
realize that he wanted to be an orangutan until after he was already an orangutan. Then he was just like, "This is what I want to be forever."
Sometimes we need a galvanizing event to make us realize.
No.
Sometimes you don't realize you're transgender.
Yeah, exactly. We're all trans here. We understand how that goes, but as far as I am aware, no Therian on this planet has actually gotten to go into an animal body.
So there is VR chat. Yeah. There is VR chat and stuff.
Yeah.
I think someone could
never
do
mind.
that and then
Subscribe.
If you're
are you still transgender if you're trans, but you're hit by a laser that turns you into a cis person?
Yeah.
By the cis of the gender you want to be?
For more investigation of this complex and nuanced topic, subscribe to patreon.com/distressedegg to read Fully Immersive, the comic currently running on there.
It's very
about
good.
This literal
Or just
thing.
go read Witch's Servant.
It is porn. It's
very
really good porn.
It's porn.
It's great.
It's really good porn.
It's porn.
Okay, the last joke I will call out is at the start where they do the ritual of the Arch-Chancellor's keys, where they have to which is apparently based on a real thing, but
The Queen's keys.
Yeah, but before they do that, where they have to pat themselves down and theatrically, did you try your other pockets? You there, did you check my jacket? Nope, not there. And it's all very theatrical and looking for the keys you lost. And it's all right outside someone's door, the bursar's door, I think.
Yeah, there is. They point out a very specific thing that you cannot destroy tradition, you can only add to it, which sort of implies that at one time this was a perfectly straightforward, just here's the Arch-Chancellor's keys, present, da-da-da-da-da, and it was over in 30 seconds. But one time, some jackass forgot his keys, and they went through this whole routine, and now every single night they have to go through this whole bullshit nonsense.
Yes, and they take great pride in it, except for I think it's the bursar or something, whose room is right above all this, has to listen to this shit every night. And you know that if he keeps yelling at them, he won't become part of it.
Yes.
After he moves on, someone else is going to have to
You cannot collapse that wave.
Is going to have to yell at them the whole time, knock that shit off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of all the stuff that Rincewind, all the Australia jokes that Rincewind went through.
Yeah,
we started with
the sheep. He shares with the sheep.
Well,
right?
we started with Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's the Mad Max.
He meets a dwarf named Max, and he's quite mad.
Yeah, and then immediately after that we got Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah. He
and
puts
then,
corks on his head.
Yeah, then there's that.
He eats the witchetty grubs.
Yep.
Then we move from there. We do the sheep. Then we keep
Yeah, he meets all. Yeah,
he goes through the canyon. There's the drop bears. They just go through all the bits one by one.
He invents Marmite on accident.
Yeah. Playing the hits.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He becomes Waltzing Matilda. There's a whole thing about a
Kelly.
ghost and a billabong.
Yeah, there's Opera House, Peaches Nelly.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yeah.
He starts Pineapple and Pizza Discourse for some.
That was the other little joke I liked. That the drag queens are in town for the gala, which I guess is the Pride celebration.
Yeah, which is a whole big Australian Pride thing that apparently really exists.
I like that they spell it Galah, which is also the name of a little pink Australian type of parrot.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is very
It's a good bird reference.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's also the regatta, which actually is a fucking thing, down to
Yeah,
the fact that they do
yeah,
it in a
like-
dry riverbed.
Yeah, it gets rained out sometimes.
And then
They
the
have to
joke at the
cancel it.
end, where when it gets rained out, they're just like, it's just not the same when there's water. You
Which
can't
really
do it with the
happens.
boat.
Like, they do, in fact, do this regatta in a dry riverbed in real Australia, and sometimes it does get rained out, so they can't do it.
Hilarious.
That's amazing.
I guess the thing is, like, I think going over like my final conclusion. Normally, I'd be like, well, what did you like and what did you dislike? But we've talked about the stuff we liked and
Yeah.
some of the stuff we disliked.
It's-
My main conclusion is that I don't really think about this book that much.
Yep.
I just kind of
No.
read it and went, that was pretty good.
It's fine.
My only conclusion from this book is that if you ever care about us and are like, I'm gonna draw a disc cover thing or whatever, and the luggage is in it, you better draw the heels.
Yeah.
You draw the luggage with the whole look.
And the lid piercing.
Yeah, and the lid piercing. What was the other thing too?
It was...
It was the heels, the lid piercing.
It was like wearing a bow or something, like
It
wearing a
was
skirt
wearing
or
like
something.
it was like a sequined sort of.
Yeah,
piece
no, it
of
was covered in
fabric.
sequins. That's
Yeah,
what it
sequins.
was.
Yeah.
And you don't have to draw all the sequins.
No, that's
But
hard.
You can put like a skirt on, like you put on a bed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Give
no,
it a
the-
ribbon and
She's-
eyelashes.
Let
Could
her.
you like fem up this rectangle a little
You know how
bit?
people
just
like
make
you know people put like eyelashes and like dick sucking lips on their
their
car.
cars.
You know how people force fem their cars sometimes.
Yeah.
and
I
they
love
first masked
Chunky.
their trucks.
I'm going to think about her more than I'm going to think about the entire book.
Yeah. Trunky and Betty forever.
Yeah.
You want to go to the rankings?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk rankings. Now, last time with Jingo, it came in at number 15. The last time we had a Rincewind book that was number 21. Interesting Times, way at the bottom. I think this book was better than Interesting Times.
I'm going to say I think this is
this
at
is
least
absolutely better
This
than
is
Interesting
probably the best Rincewind book.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say let me switch up the gauge here and grade it as a Wizard's book instead of a Rincewind book. Would you say that it's better or worse than Moving Pictures?
That's a trick because like I hate to do recency bias, and we did just talk about all the things we liked.
Yeah.
I think it's more racist than Moving Pictures.
Yeah.
But it's also better written than Moving Pictures, I think. I don't know.
I like it more than Moving Pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both are books that are just like, hey, here's a bajillion jokes that
Yeah.
are referencing a thing.
Yeah.
And like, I liked the reference here better. It's not as dumb.
Yeah.
And it's better written.
I think I gotta get. This even had like better movie references. I will give it that. Mm-hmm. You know, we watched Priscilla. Well, you watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert because of this. and I kind of want to now
that's a
too.
good
Got you
movie.
to
I
watch a good
recommend
movie.
it mostly.
It's better than like the weird like movies from the 20s Pratchett was referencing in Moving Pictures that none of us had ever heard of.
23 Skidoo. Would you say that it's better or worse than Wyrd Sisters, the one above it?
Yeah, that's the first Witches book. Right?
First Witches book.
Yeah, I don't remember that book very well.
Yeah,
because
It has been like 2 years.
Yeah, that's kind of
Okay,
a problem.
so the
with
You
thing
it.
don't
is,
you don't
we ranked
you don't
Wyrd
all listen to
Sisters
all the
book.
previous episodes the night before we film?
Well, I mean, okay, give Jude a break. She's been traveling, so, you know.
Man, I can't even remember shit from like 2 horse truck episodes ago, and we only so like you know it's hard to remember shit, you know.
Here's my thing. I don't remember anything about Wyrd Sisters, but I do remember Witches Abroad,
Yeah.
and I think this book is better than Witches Abroad.
Yeah.
And Witches
This book
Abroad is above Wyrd Sisters,
Yeah,
so
'cause
it's better than both
Like,
of
it's,
them. I think.
like
Okay,
I
yeah,
think Witches
I'll see
Abroad
that.
is a good comparison because Witches Abroad is also like it's a Road to movie. This
That's
is the
true,
this is
yeah.
the Road to 4X,
That's
and
a
I think
good
it does
point.
that better than Witches Abroad did whatever it was doing.
Would you say this is better than Soul Music?
This is interesting.
Yeah, because like I didn't like soul music was kind of a I can't remember like there was like maybe a few good jokes in soul music, but like this felt more cohesive than soul music.
I like
don't
Soul
know.
Music. I think
Because it's worse than
has
Mort. I think we can all
definitely-
agree it's
It
worse
is
than
Yeah, no,
definitely
there's
below
no way this
Mort.
beats Mort. No way
Yeah,
this
like
beats
so.
Mort.
Yeah.
I think we gotta say it's worse than Mort. So the question is, it better or worse than soul music?
I think
Is it 10 or 11?
I'm gonna be honest. I think I preferred Witches Abroad than to Last Continent. So I would
Really?
I would by process of elimination
I mean,
put it underneath.
to be clear, this book did not have Neniog in it.
Correct.
This book did
Yeah.
not have Casanunda in it.
Yeah.
It didn't, but I
Casanova
could
was so
put it
much better
below
being
Witches
horny.
Abroad. I just
Yeah.
Witches Abroad was more racist than
What
this
if we
one?
put it? We could put it below soul music, but above Witches Abroad, and
So
then
you're just
and
gonna
those three
give
are
it
kind of
slot
like
11.
Yeah, if these were like, if we ever switch to a tier list, which I feel like we're going to stick with numbers because it's funnier.
Yeah,
No.
even
I
as
was
we,
originally for tier lists, but when you pointed out
No.
how much funnier it is to keep it
Yeah,
objective.
Numbers are. This is precisely 1 point better.
Yeah, especially as we increasingly chafe against the restrictions of the numbering system, as it becomes increasingly arbitrary, it becomes funnier.
I also deeply appreciate that we're spending all this time hemming and hawing only to put it smack dab in the middle of the chart.
Which, like,
Well,
I think this book is very mid.
Yeah,
like,
that's
No,
it's-
it
it's
is.
fine.
I'm not arguing.
like,
This is
and especially since June, I believe, said it was a pretty standard Discworld book. Like, this is
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
most
but
Discworld Discworld.
I had that whole thing of, oh crap, this is what I was nostalgic
Yeah.
for. Oh damn, I feel terrible.
This was a very mid Discworld book, but as it turns out, I enjoy a mid Discworld book
Yeah.
more than I enjoy.
Oh yeah,
a lot of other
I'll eat at
It
fucking
has a-
McDonald's. So it's like I'm not above
Absolutely
this
great.
book.
It has a pH that is Pratchett hegemony.
Ah,
which is the middle of the scale.
which we get by titrating a good wizard book with some Rincewind. They cancel each other out, acids and bases, to
Yeah.
create the perfect median.
I didn't mind Rincewind.
I'm sorry, did
No,
you
I
say
actually
that
like
Rincewind
Rincewind
is
a lot more than
basic?
like again. I will go to bed for like
Rincewind, basic bitch.
like again. I did love the bit where everyone, including the police, are trying to make him a folk hero. They have no interest in punishing him. They really wanted to escape because they wanted to be a folk hero.
Yeah, executing him is really kind of a formality.
Okay.
But like,
Everything else.
and like, if they execute him, he will become a folk hero. But if he does something else and makes a big last stand, that's even better.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
secondary
just great.
kudos for the fact of we nipped down to the other prison and talked to the prime minister.
Yes!
Yeah.
We put all of our politicians in jail. It just
Immediately.
saves time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, one other terrible joke: the fact that like no one can get off 4X once they're there is a thing in the book, and this just leads to like way later in the book, Rincewind going, "You're saying this island is a prison?"
Yeah. Which is
Ba-dum-bum,
yeah.
ba-dum-bum.
There's some Australia history for you, though. Elspace does point out that it wasn't a penal colony for very long. It was
No.
for like 2 years or so.
Yeah, but that's what everyone
Yeah,
remembers.
yeah, exactly.
It stopped being
But
a
like
penal
even
colony
Australians
shortly after they
saying, "Hey,
realized
this
they
is a
were
prison
resources.
colony."
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold. We normally we do our what was the most British thing in
Oh,
this
I
book?
said the clear beer. Them being amazed that it wasn't thick
Or like
beer.
the
Yeah, I
bit
was
about
gonna
the
say,
Willy
what-
Jumper.
In this book, what's the most Australian thing in this book?
Oh, that's hard to say. 'Cause, like,
I'm not sure. We
that-
might need help
We
with
would
that
need
one.
a, we would need
I
a
think
French.
Shit
We
about
would need a
Farrago, the
professional.
whole thing about what was it like all the weird Australian phrases like oh yeah something my shrimp. There was even a whole bit where like one of the like guys Rincewind went into was like trying to get a hold of the slinger. He says something to the other guy. You just made that up, didn't you?
Rincewind looked across the chasm at the horseman. "G'day," he said, waving his hat in the air as Snowy set off again. "I think I'm about to have a Technicolor snake," he added, and threw up. "'Ere, mister?" someone shouted back. "Yes, that was a chunder." "Right, no worries."
There is in fact one reference to the song Down Under, as you would expect.
Yeah, of course.
Australia's national anthem.
Naturally. We didn't find anybody who was 6 foot tall and full of muscles, though.
No. But I forget what, someone does, I think, smile and give him a Vegemite sandwich. Sorry, it's Marmite. He makes Marmite, not Vegemite.
Vegemite is a licensed brand name and thus cannot be used in this. Marmite is the generic term.
Yeah, also they're different things, I think. Marmite's
think
made
they're
from
different.
beer, Vegemite's made from vegetables or some
Yeah,
such.
something like that.
Listeners, if you're out there going, Jesus Christ, the most obvious Australian thing in this was blank, write us in.
Meanwhile-
also, listeners,
Please.
if you're tired of me saying listeners, please write in and let me know.
Oh
Meanwhile,
yeah,
if you're
give us a cool name to call you.
Diskettes and Diskinos.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah, we
that's
came
what
up
we
with
agreed
that.
on.
Meanwhile, if you're an Australian horse, you eat Marmite.
Wow.
Wow, great.
Very topical
So
for...
good.
See?
I mean, there
And
has
this book that has an Australian horse in it, several of them even.
There had to have been at least one My Little Pony convention in Australia, right?
I imagine so.
Listeners, if you went to the
Do you think Snowy went
Shout
there?
out.
convention in Australia, write in and tell us about it. Please, I want to hear your report.
Anyways,
Alright.
you've been listening to Discoverers. This was interesting times.
What's
No, it
next?
wasn't.
Not interesting time. This is last con. Oh my! I was,
Well, we had an interesting time. Unfortunately, the Australia Pony Convention, at least the one I found, is they had AliCon, which is an alicorn pun, and they had PonyCon AU, none of which are like puns.
Okay.
If you are organizing an Australian Pony Convention in 2023 or 2024 for some fucking reason,
First off, God bless your heart.
good.
yeah,
Wow,
you should
incredible.
invite me as a guest.
Yeah.
I have a lot of
Also,
free
aren't
time
we still
now.
in a pandemic?
Yeah, that too.
I know we're all just pretending it's over, but you know. And I'm saying this
I'll
as
show
a
up on-
hypocrite who went to conventions this year, but still.
I'll show up on video call.
Anyways.
Is there a name for you? And also, you
Anyways.
should have me. I'd be great at it.
Yes.
What's the next book?
Next book is going to be Carpe Jugulum, a
Vampires.
witch's book. A good witch's book.
I have been waiting for this one. I have not read it.
Really?
This is the one big one that I have never read. Like, I've read most of the other really famous ones, but
This
not
is-
this. I know, like, a bunch of quotes from it. I know all of these moments and
This
stuff,
is-
but I've never read it start
Out
to
of
finish.
all of the witches books are like a land of many contrasts. This is the one where he gets it right, if I remember correctly.
I'm very excited.
I'm hype. Also, we got a lot more vampire action in it, which is something we've been
Yeah,
liking.
there's been
Listeners, if
vampires
you-
in the background, but like...
Listeners, if you're a vampire, please,
Please.
come over to my
Please
house
bite
and
me.
bite me.
Please, we will pay you for this.
This also goes if you're a werewolf or basically any other weird creature of the night whose traits are transmitted via biting, sucking, blowing, fucking, and so
Unless those
if
traits
you are a
has
sexually
rabies,
transmitted,
maybe.
I'm sorry, supernaturally transmitted disease, call us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, I forgot another Australian. Okay, when they go to the fucking Australian University, BU, they there's a sign that says no Sheilas or whatever.
No
And there's a
bloody
whole bit with-
Sheilas, yes.
Yeah, no bloody Sheilas, but it's in fake Latin, and also we have to like the one woman they're with. Well, my name's not Sheila, so I should be fine.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me. I think my other favorite joke was the fact that their university doesn't have a tall tower. It has a tower that seems very short,
Yeah,
but
but
then you
it's-
go up
it's
it.
taller
But it's
on
taller on the
incredibly tall.
inside.
It's a great bit. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And like they're the faux Latin above their gate, which they still have a gate, even though the rest of it is like sheets of tin stapled to plywood or whatever. It's faux Latin for like it's like nihilus anxietum or whatever. No worries.
no worries.
When so many of our episodes are either us being like, wow, this book had problems, let's talk about the problems, or like, this book was so interesting, let's talk about the themes. Having a book where we're just like, hey, remember when he made a joke about Marmite? That was funny. Like, I'm glad we have this nice moment.
This
It's
is like a
just kinda
vacation
relaxing.
of an episode. It was great.
Yeah.
The
Anyways,
night before disaster.
Yeah.
Other British thing is when he starts talking about the lee of a buttress or some shit. There's a guy named Macabre. I forget what exactly that was in service of, but I remember
don't
that.
either.
It was like the very beginning. It didn't really go anywhere.
I have been Juniper. You can find me online at Juniper Theory on co-host and Mastodon. Actually, I don't even know what my name is on Mastodon. Don't worry about it. Follow me on co-host, and then if you're cool, I'll let you onto my Mastodon. Anyways, don't try and follow me on Twitter. I just don't give a shit about that anymore. That's
Bad
like
time to be on
bad
Twitter
time.
right now.
Anyways, I'm gonna recommend, as I said, Bad Anime Roulette, which is a game that Iris made up. That did you know
very
that every single anime on Crunchyroll you can browse them alphabetically, and so if you just scroll through it endlessly until someone says stop, you can find something that you've never heard of and is baffling.
There are even websites, I think like 9anime, that just have a random anime button that I have gone to with friends that just clicked on
great.
and like.
What was the rule you did? Just so you could
What
get...
it is, so what it is it involves the way we've formulated it. I can't take full credit. Nero also assisted with this.
Who is here and being very polite as we keep saying his name, Nero.
Yes. He has his earphones in. Don't worry about it. Nero, I love you.
Nero's
Hi.
absolutely wonderful.
Anyways, the idea is one player closes their eyes, the other player starts spinning on the All Series A to Z page. That person then says, the person who closes their eyes, after a certain amount of time that they themselves will determine, they say stop. Whatever anime it lands on, you can either watch that anime, the one immediately before, or immediately after. Now, you do get some mitigating circumstances in case of emergencies. Every spin, you get one mulligan if what you get is either stuff you've seen before or is just too excruciating to even bear. You also get a mulligan if it is either an isekai or an idol show. But I recognize those are our house rules based on our personal taste. If you can stand idol shows or isekais more, then feel free to leave those out and say no, I don't know, fucked up murder anime or something like that. But it's up to you.
If you say no sports, you'll be absolutely doing a disservice to the creators of the game. The biggest weird anime sports perverts I know. But you can do that.
Yeah, like, how else would you find anime about weird bike guys or whatever?
It's true. I still need to, like, our dream podcast after this one, like, I mean, depending on whether we get funding for it, because it needs to have a video component, is we want to review every sports anime, and then immediately after reviewing that sports anime, we try the sport using only what we learned from the anime. Because the other great thing about sports anime is some of them are really passionate to teach you the ins and outs and intricacies of the sports. And others are really more about the fucking vibes.
Yeah, some of them are just about like, hey, look at this freak who was grown in a lab to play play pickleball.
Like,
check out how the Dempsey roll makes you unstoppable when it has been completely defeated since the 50s.
One of my favorite anime in the second category is one called Backflip, which is about men's rhythmic gymnastics. But it's not really about men's rhythmic gymnastics. It's about them trying to recreate the financial success of the anime Free, but with men's rhythmic gymnastics. So you have 5 boys, and they're all color-coded, and they all have charming little quirks, and they all get along. And then they do the part where they're dancing and the gymnastics. And they don't really go into how it actually works or how any of it is scored. Which, the only thing I learned is that apparently in rhythmic gymnastics, you start with a score of 100 and the judges knock off points every time you fuck up. Which is the most anxiety-inducing scoring method I've ever heard in my life.
What the fuck? That seems mean?
It's
seems
so
like pointlessly
mean.
cruel.
It's
Especially
not
if
as-
you can see the score.
Although it's not as weird as like, my other favorite kind of sports anime is anime where the sports are made up.
Yeah.
Where they make up sports specifically for the show. One of them is called Skate Leading Stars, which is like synchronized group figure skating, but because there's so many people who are moving around at the same time doing different things, they can't rely solely on judges. So officially in the show, they're like, yeah, we also have a very complex AI that grades them using an algorithm to see who is scientifically the best at boys synchronized figure skating.
I feel like the winner of the made-up sports has to be the butt-fighting
Oh,
anime.
Keijo?
Like Keijo.
Keijo.
Because everyone who's watched Keijo has always like said to me, it's baffling how it's just a real sports anime, and
Yes.
they take it seriously, even though it's the stupidest thing
Yes,
imaginable.
but I do want to underline, when people say that, they are downplaying exactly how much boob and ass shit is in that
Oh yeah,
show.
no, like it's 100%
all that.
It's all that, but then the actual like plot of the show is just
Yeah.
a straightforward sports
Right.
anime that's relatively
I keep
serious
hearing you
about
say-
it, even though it's like that.
I know I keep thinking you're saying kaiji, which is like completely
Kaiji
different.
Kaiji is also kind of a sports anime.
Yeah, it's
listen-
also
anyways,
kaiji is also a made-up sports anime, but the sport they're talking about is real, except it's written by lunatics.
Sometimes the sport is real.
Kaiji fucking owns.
Yeah.
I'm Iris J. Pronouns are she's there. You can find me at Iris J Comics on social media. I'm going to recommend reading Gambling Apocalypse Kaiji.
Yes!
Yeah.
The anime is great too, but I'm just going to warn you, it stops after season 2 because the main composer of the series got busted for weed possession, and that ruined his fucking career. And they're scared of bringing it back now. They made a spin-off series called Strongest Middle Manager Tonegawa, which is about the guy, like the second
Wait, did
banana.
they make that?
They made it.
Huh.
It's an anime. Have you seen it?
No.
Bitch, we are watching that immediately after this. It's a comedy series about the evil corporation in Kaiji and what they do behind the scenes and how they came up with restricted rock, paper, scissors. It's batshit. It was made by an assistant of Fukumoto-san, and they ran it as like a joke in the same magazines that his stuff runs in, which is great.
I absolutely love Kaiji. It's fantastic. The current arc is just doing a slice of life anime, but all of the slice of life things are treated with the exact same.
All the men are scared and crying.
Yeah, it has the same gravity, so they go out and they buy furniture, but it's like, if we buy furniture wrong, we'll all die and get our dicks cut off. Fuck!
Just
How
like
do
in-
we buy furniture?
Just like in
So
real, that
good.
happens every time you go to IKEA.
Yeah, it's so real.
So funny.
I love, one of my favorite things about going to Tokyo was like going and seeing what series were popular over there and what series weren't compared to here. I was disappointed that I didn't find any Birdie Wing merchandise whatsoever. Only we are talking about Birdie Wing.
Only
Watch
us.
Birdie Wing. The
Birdie Wing
greatest
is
show
good.
ever.
Yeah, but I did love people over there are just as sicko mode for kaiji as they are over here, and that's fucking amazing.
Also, I was realizing I mixed up Kaiji and Baki.
Baki!
Sorry.
I heard
sorry.
you watching it through Baki.
Baki is
with
also
Winston.
about
Yeah,
fucked up
I'm not
men,
usually
but
I have a different
very
habit,
fucking
but I do love Baki
Okay.
because it is also written by lunatics who do not understand real fighting at all. But that's okay because it's a world where you can beat up a bear.
It's a world where you can keep a grenade in your stomach, just in case.
Because that makes you invincible.
Grace, you have to stop mixing
I know,
up
I'm sorry,
animes
I'm
because
sorry.
every single time.
Because they're all good.
You remember a different anime, and then Iris is like, "Oh fuck
But
yeah,
they're all
that
good
one."
anime.
This is
all
thanks to
good.
the wonder of anime roulette. I have seen every anime right now.
You're
Yeah.
so
My
wise.
brain is a diamond lattice of memory, but only when it comes to anime.
Just listen. I was like trying to remember what anime I had seen, and like there's so much good and there's so much baffling. I was trying to think of DIY, by the way. That's what I was trying to think of last night. But I have been the internet's beloved Princess Grace. You can find my writing, programs, podcast posts, and everything else that's fit to plug at princess.software, including the pornography I just released today, Dragon's Lair, which is, as near as I can tell, the first pornography ever written, shipping the two open source compiler mascots, the LLVM Wyvern and the GCC GNU. So you can find that.
I'm so hyped to read that. You have no idea.
You can find that. You can find it through princess.software on my website at on my porn site at perfect.hypnovir.us or on my AO3. I'm Modemoiselle there. You can find it through the links. I believe in you. Easiest one is to go to princess.software and click through. The thing I am going to recommend is even more niche, and it is the Seattle Connections Museum. It is the best way to spend 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. if you're in Seattle. And I will go to bat for it any day of the week. If you want, like, some of the only working mechanical telephone switching equipment.
Is this the telephone museum?
Yes, the Seattle Connections Museum, formerly the Someone J. Something Museum of Telecommunications.
We should go there.
Oh, we absolutely should. You name the time. I would say you name the time and the place, but there's only one place,
Like
and they're
10
open
a.m.
10 to 3 on Sunday. Is the
10
only
to
time
3
they're
on
open.
Sunday.
Phone church, they call it.
Yeah,
but
we'll not this month, maybe next month.
yeah.
I'd love to do that.
like
yeah.
it whips, it rules. If you're ever in Seattle on a Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., I recommend it.
Yeah.
Before I go into my ending spiel, again, I cannot stress how much I love the fact that you have that pattern down to such a degree that because I was listening to Horse Truck a couple hours ago, I immediately expected you to toss it over to Beans in the middle of that.
My darling cohort, who is not here.
We gotta have Dracos on one of these episodes.
Oh, she would not.
Yeah, no.
No, she wanted to do these, so yeah, she would.
she would
Yeah, no,
not.
I
absolutely
want
love
to
it.
I want to do a bonus episode with Dracos on. I talked about maybe trying to do the terrible Discworld GURPS TTRPG at some point, doing like an actual game of that.
Oh, yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Oh my
I feel like if we
god,
had that for DVS one
you are
year or
braver
some
than the
shit.
troops.
Oh my god.
We always do an actual play
I
for DVS.
Despise GURPS with every
Yeah,
fiber of
correct.
my being, but
Yeah.
I would.
I'd suggest
it would
that
be a
if
fun thing to do.
Dracos was not already running a campaign for DVS, multi-hour.
Yeah, no, we gotta do that like
maybe next year.
We gotta do that next year or some shit.
I think we're gonna
It
be
would
still
be-
reading Terry Pratchett
Yeah.
next year.
It would be
so-
like a one shot or something. Just saying,
Yeah.
there's a lot of fun bonus
Yeah,
episodes
yeah.
that I'd really, really love
yeah,
to do.
correct.
Anyways,
With Dracos.
I am still Belina. I am still probably easiest found in the show notes. I don't have nearly enough of my. I don't have nearly as much of a cool body of work as most of y'all. I was going to plug something like Akiba Made War, but we've already talked too much about anime as it is.
Also,
so,
I've already referenced Akiba Made War, but you could do it again. It still whips.
Yeah, that's I only just got started in it, and holy shit. But
Whips.
okay, well, what the hell else have I been doing? If you've got God, I hate even saying this. If you've got Halo, go look up Cursed Halo again on the Steam Workshop. Someone took the game and made it completely fucking bananas.
That's not cursed. That mod rules.
No, yeah, but it's called Cursed Halo again, so I gotta call it by its name. Did you think Halo was missing, say, pistols that shoot backwards, or an entire Mario Kart circuit? Have you ever asked yourself, why does the Master Chief have 4 pistols taped to his legs so he can double jump?
Why can't Master Chief double jump?
Isn't this the one that has like quizzes on Halo lore and
Yes! No, it's a math
Awesome.
quiz at the end of
play
the
this
Guilty
with
Spark level.
do.
The most boring level in any Halo game ends with a math quiz to show you were paying attention.
And I've always said, ever since I have my opinions on Final Fantasy 14, but I think requiring the players to like know what a prime to like identify prime numbers is the funniest raid mechanic ever. I'm glad more video games are doing it.
I still don't think they'll ever top the fact they accidentally made everyone learn the difference between starboard and larboard.
Yeah.
My favorite raid thing is there's a Destiny 2 raid they did, and in it they have symbols that you have to memorize and like call out what they are. And there's symbols with fish, there's symbols with a dragon, there's some with a bird, and there's one other one, I don't remember what it is. But there's 3 of each type. So if you go in, you're like, oh, this is the one with the bird. You could be talking about 3 different things, and they're just immediately like, we're going to do 4 different animals, but we're going to do 3 different versions of each of them that are like, one has the head pointed the other day, and one is facing upwards. It's just like, you fucking...
Video games are a great medium for pranks.
this is why
the fact that no 2 people can agree what to call the hive runes. The last group I ran with, Kat, I love you, I adore you, but oh my god, the fact that you insist on calling the 5 horizontal lines the hamburger made me fucking insane.
That's not the fucking hamburger. The hamburger's the one that looks like a fucking hamburger. There's
Exactly.
literally one that looks like a hamburger.
You could call it the Dagwood.
Hold on.
Like it's clearly
I need to pull this up so I can show you what the hamburger
Because like,
looks
here's the thing: a hamburger menu in Star Wars, which is a terrible name, is 3 parallel lines.
Ah,
if it's more
fuck,
than that,
you're
you
right,
could call
that
it
is
a
a hamburger
Dagwood or
menu.
some shit.
But no, the hamburger is the one that's round, that looks like a
Yes,
sandwich.
obviously.
Wait, I gotta find this. Hang on.
we need to destroy capitalism so Destiny 2 can become the best game ever.
Which
made.
of these is the burger?
Yeah, like the one with the
The
rounded
one is
bun.
that's the
looks like
burger.
a
The
burger.
hamburger's
The
the
one
one, not this one.
Yeah,
Sharp burger.
Yeah, like
Brits.
That one's
what
not
the
a
fuck
burger.
kind of hamburgers are you eating when the meat is like several times the size of the bite? I understand a little overhang. We've all seen Wendy's, but like not that much. Like the ratio is off. The one with the rounded buns is clearly the okay.
one with
a
that is-
hamburger,
that's the hamburger.
A
It
hamburger
looks like
with
the Burger King logo.
okay, a hamburger with rounded buns on the top and bottom is cursed, but like it's at least
Or
recognizably burger.
if you're in Australia, Hungry Jacks.
yeah, or Macca's, I believe.
Bring it all back to Aussies.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Australia.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Weird
Now-
Discovers. You can find us at DiscPod on Twitter, DiscPod on Queer.party on Mastodon, DiscPod on co-host, the fun social media site that's cool to use. You can also email us at disc@hypnovir.us. That's DISC at HYPNOVIR.us. Anchor.fm/discpod is our show's website address. Feel free to drop us a line. We didn't have any fan mail this time, but maybe next time. If you're one of the many groups that we referenced during this episode, or you just want to say hi, drop us a line. Until next time, have a good night. Truly, it was the last continent.
Okay, wait, shit. Sorry, I'm more familiar with the free and open source clone of Australia, Faustralia. Thank you.
Holy shit.
Bless you, Grace.
Good night, everybody.
Blaze. Rip Blazeball.
I have Foss on the brain. I just wrote,
Oh yeah, go check out Blazeball. Wait, never mind.